How big of a need is cornerback? I mean, the Niners have a top 5 defense. Jason Verrett's playing really well, and Mosley's no slouch. So how big of a need is cornerback?
I think it once again goes back to defensive line, how much they bring in there. If they do get a Melvin Ingram type or a top guy in the draft, that would help the defensive backs a lot. But if they're unable to go that route, they go quarterback or offensive line in the first couple rounds, then I think they do need to re-sign Mosley and Verrett or one of the two and bring in another guy that's capable of starting. That they do need help at cornerback, in my opinion. But if they get a top-notch edge rusher, regardless of age, I think that does push defensive back down on the needs list.
Good point. The best way to cover DK Metcalf is to sack Russell Wilson. Is that what you're saying?
Well, but until last night, Patrick Peterson had given up 28 receiving yards in 3 games against DK Metcalf. So, but then he got destroyed last night when the Cardinals had no pass rush.
I feel like DK Metcalf ended Patrick Peterson's career last night, kind of like how I ended Mike McGlinchey's career yesterday afternoon. Kind of like it was sort of similar. It was that type of, you know what I'm saying? He pulled a Grant Cohn, is what I'm saying DK Metcalf did. Leo.
Jeez.
You like how I can toot my own horn with a smile, right? And I can really give myself some serious praise.
You have
to. That's true.
Patrick Peterson, breaking news. He's been bad for at least 3 years now.
That's true. That is true.
Dante Pettit scored a touchdown on him, and he had like 10 yards of separation last season.
That is true.
Okay, so getting back on topic, I think the question should be, how important is it to bring back Jason Verrett? Because I think that's more of the question here. It's you're going to tender Mosley. It's going to cost you $3 million. That's nothing for him compared to the open market. And then you re-sign Jason Verrett. Cool, you have your 2 outside guys. I like Cornell Motley as like a prospect who's on the practice squad team out of Oklahoma, who was an undrafted free agent. And then you could probably take a guy in maybe the 2nd round, 4th round. That'll help things out. And what the 49ers also, it's you could re-sign the best nickel corner in the NFL in Jamar Taylor.
I don't think Grant was.
Do you know what his quarterback rating allowed is this season? Jamar Taylor? Do you know? 69. So
nice.
Make fun of Jamar Taylor at your own peril.
I'm not making fun of him. I'm saying that they should re-sign him.
You've never believed in Jamar Taylor. I'm the one on this show. Like, give him a chance, Leo, please.
That's why last time I had to text him like, hey, like, bro, that wasn't me. That was Grant talking. Like,
hey, tell him I'm sorry. He's right. I was wrong. He's smart. I'm dumb. He's good looking. I'm not attractive. Tell him that.
Okay. But I think it's re-signing Jason Verrett is what's going to keep the secondary okay. And like Mav touched on, you add another guy that can actually suit up on Sundays, not named D4, to play on the edge. You're getting to the quarterback quicker, and he's not building a whole house back there for his family. I think they'll be fine at cornerback.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to go and sort of disagree with you there. So, look, I like Jason Verrett. I think Jason Verrett's terrific, and they should re-sign him. Mm-hmm. I also really like Emmanuel Mosley. I think he's terrific. Not terrific. I think he's good, and they should re-sign him. I think they should move him to nickel. I like him. I think he's one of your 11 best players. He should be the nickel next year if they don't bring back K1. I don't think they should. I think corner is basically a young man's position. Nothing against K1. The way I think they do have a big need at corner. I still think it's their biggest need on the team other than quarterback, bigger than edge rusher, bigger than offensive line, because of the division they play in. Most of the time, Verrett and Mosley are good enough. But in this division, the Niners always will have to play 1/4 of their games every year against DeAndre Hopkins and DK Metcalf. And not only are they elite, but they're big. They play big. And Emmanuel Mosley does a good job. Like, we've seen him cover both Metcalf and Hopkins. And each time you wouldn't say that Mosley's not there. He's right there. He just gets punked at the catch point because he's 5'11", 185, and the other guys are like 6'3", 220 or whatever. So I just don't think they have to get not just a corner, but a big corner that matches up with these two wide receivers, just the way that the Cardinals went out of their way to draft a guy who matches up with George Kittle. When you are in a division with special talents like them, you have to have special talents to match up. Just the way, like in the 80s, the Raiders always were building their defense with John Elway in mind, because that was the special talent in their division they had to account for. The Niners, there's two of them. It's not just one guy that they face 2 times a year. It's 2 guys they face 4 times a year. They need a corner who's like 6'1" and good, not like 6'3" and a Kello. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like one of the, and there's a bunch. If you look at the CBS site, you got Joe Horn's son, you got Asante Samuel's son, you got a lot of kids' sons coming out this year, and they look good. So one of those kids.
So if I'm taking someone to guard DK Metcalf or DeAndre Hopkins, someone I look at is Trey Dean from Florida. He's probably going to be like a 4th round prospect. The dude is 6'3", 201 pounds, and he may be able to get into the 4.4s, facing SEC receivers right now. So they got good receivers on LSU last year. They had receivers on Alabama last year and this year. So he's facing good talent in college. And so if we're going based on size, that's someone I would look at. Just because 6'1", like, yeah, that's great. I'm 6'1" myself, but is DK is going to still do DK things at his size over someone that's 6'1"?
Humble brag right there, going 6'1".
Well,
I'm 6'1" too.
My driver license says, but I'm not quite there.
See, to me, if you want to get someone who can match up with DeAndre Hopkins and DK Metcalf, who are 2 of the best in the league, you need someone with first-round talent. And you can get good corners in round 4. It's just really hard. It's really hard and rare. So I would say, to me, this is why I don't think the Niners can trade up for a quarterback this year. I think they need to take a corner as well. And they got to figure out who the best corner is going to be available for them at the beginning of round 2, or if they can trade Jimmy Garoppolo for a first-round pick. If someone wants that contract, maybe they can do something there with it. I think they need to take a serious corner this year, or else they're just going to continue to get burned by Metcalf and Hopkins and lose to those teams. If you don't have an answer for those wide receivers, I don't see how you can feel confident going into that matchup.
Yeah, it's
I just don't.
How I look at it is, over the past, 5 years, how many first-round corners actually turned out to be first-round talent and not turn out to be like Eli Apples of the first round? And it seems like there tends to be more consistent starters in round 2, round 3 of the spectrum at that position.
Well, we'd have to do it. I don't know about that. We would have to do a deep dive on the success rates at cornerback by round. Maybe we'll do that next time.